Hello everybody, we're going to take a look at Unit 1.3c in WAMAP today, and this is Order of Operations. Question 1, find the value of the expression 12 divided by 2 plus the difference between 7 and 4 squared. Okay, and the second problem is negative 4 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. So let's see how to work those out following the order of PEMDAS, the order of operations. So according to PEMDAS, let's go with purple. We have to start with any operations in parentheses first. So in this first example, we do have parentheses. And while we're talking about parentheses, let me just mention that parentheses is standard parentheses, hard brackets, curly brackets, absolute value brackets, basically anything that isolates another number. And I guess I'm going to have to restart this share because it's not updating my screen. Sorry about that. So I've got the different types of brackets up there, or parentheses. All right, so first thing we have is 7 minus 4, so we're going to evaluate that. So we have 3, and I'm going to keep the parentheses there. And I'm going to copy down everything else, and I'm going to recommend that you work these problems this way. Every time you complete one operation, evaluate that part of the operation, and then write the number down and bring down the rest of your the rest of the expression so that you can you go step by step. Now we have, there's no operation in the parentheses, so we're going to look for exponents, which is here. We've got 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. And then I'm going to write out the rest of it. And now we have 12 divided by 2 plus 9. And many of you want to just work from left to right, which will work out in this case because multiplication or division goes before addition or subtraction. If you work from left to right, you will do the division before addition. But really important to scan these operations and see what would go next. So we're going to evaluate 12 divided by 2, which is 6, and then 6 plus 9, which is 15. So our final answer here is that all this fanciness just results in the simple answer 15. Okay. So let's drop that in and see. 15. Submit. Good, we got it right. So let's take a look at a similar question. And you guys can try this. 12 divided by 3 plus 6 minus 2 squared. Or the difference between 6 and 2 squared. You got the parentheses in there. And these aren't meant to be read out loud. But just be sure to follow those rules, the PEMDAS order. Let's take a look at this second problem. We do have several sets of parentheses, but now it's important to understand why the parentheses are used. In the first number, negative 4, the parentheses are protecting this negative sign, keeping it right with the 4. So basically, if you've got a negative number in parentheses and you're raising that to a power, it's going to be that number, negative 4, multiplied by itself twice, okay? And these others are just signs, so no operations going on in any of the parentheses. So we're going to start with negative 4 times negative 4. And that's the same as 4 times 4, 16. And we have a negative times a negative, so it's going to be a positive result. And then bring down the rest of the expression. So we've got 16 minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. And so normally we're going to do multiplication first. So if we want, we can mark the operations here. There's multiplication here and multiplication here and technically subtraction there. So when you have, we have 2 instances of multiplication here. And you work from left to right when you have things on the same level. So if you have parentheses, you pick the first set of parentheses on the left. If you have multiple sets. If you have multiple exponents, you start with the first one on the left and work to the right. Multiplication or division, either of those two, you start on the left and work your way through. And then addition and subtraction, also you start on the left and work your way through. Same as order of reading. So in this case, it's kind of interesting because I'm going to tell you to do something that's a little maybe counterintuitive. We've got 16 minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. And what I'm going to suggest is that you ignore this minus, the subtraction operation, and consider this a negative 4. And just do negative 4 times negative 2, and that will evaluate to positive 8. And then we have positive 8 times 5, which gives us a positive 40, and then we have 16. And then the last operation will be addition. We'll add these two together. 16 plus 40 is 56. This will be our answer. So why didn't I do this as subtraction? Well, the interesting thing is when you are subtracting a number that is multiplied by others, it will be less complicated to connect that operation to the number as a sign. So consider this a negative 4 times negative 2. You could do it the other way, but it can get confusing. Let's change colors. And if you were to say do 16 minus 4 times negative 2 times 5, you get 4 times negative 2 for negative 8 times 5. And then negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. Right? And this is still, we're still subtracting that. And then you end up with 16 minus negative 40, right? We just bring down, excuse me, I'm covering part of this. So we have 16 minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. And then we have 16 minus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. And so we had 16 minus negative 40. And this is where it can get confusing, or when you have two minus signs here, it's sometimes easy to drop one and forget it was there. So 16 minus negative 40 is the same as 16 plus 40, which is going to be 56. So we will get the same answer, but there is this place here, actually several places, where you might forget. One of these negative signs or minus signs might be dropped. And because of that tendency, when we take a test, we want to get the answers right so we can move on to the next level. Just consider this negative sign, this minus subtraction symbol, to be connected to that number. And for all intents and purposes, it really is. And you will end up with the same answer, but I think with less confusion. So give it a try, do some practice, see what you think, and let me know. So we got 56 and 15 for our answers. First one, 15. See how we did. Uh-oh. That was wrong. Oh, transcription error. Oh, wait. This was the second one, wasn't it? Yes. Okay. So I already did the first one correctly. My problem was 12 divided by 2 plus 7 minus 4 squared. And this is 12 divided by 3 plus the difference between 6 and 2 squared. So remember, I already answered it correctly. That's another kind of error. But I could have still gotten it wrong on a test. All right, so this one we did have negative 4 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. And we got 56 for the answer there. Okay, that was correct. And let's get a similar question. And you can go ahead and try this. And you'll notice if you work these problems enough, there are similarities in the questions. You always have a negative number here being squared, and then a negative, or there's a subtraction operation, but you can treat this as a negative 4 times negative 1 times negative 3. So the more you practice these, the better you'll get at answering and succeeding on WAMAP testing. So go ahead and work these as many times as you can. And if you run into trouble, click the Message Instructor link, select my name from the list, and click send. And I'll try to get to you within 24 hours and we can work out a solution. Good luck.